Hello everyone, welcome back to the online classes by Converge Institutions. In last class, we were discussing about the problems on the concentration terms, and in today's class, we will discuss about the solubility. So that is solubility. In today's class, we will discuss solubility and regarding the how many types of solubility will be there. And one more point you can remember, in this solution chapter we will discuss only the liquid solutions, as we already know that how many types of solutions are there: solid solutions and liquid solutions, and one more is gaseous solution. Among these three, in this solution chapter we will discuss only the liquid solution. It means liquid is act as a what? Solvent, and solute may be the solid, maybe the liquid, and maybe the gas also. And what is the meaning of the solubility? Before going to the meaning of solubility, I will give the example. Let us consider the beaker containing water. For example, you can take 100 gram. Solvent is taken in a weight, that is a gram. If you add the solute like sodium chloride to this one, when we add a sodium chloride to this one, so say example you can take 10 gram of sodium chloride. When we add to the 100 grams of solvent, so that 10 gram of sodium chloride will be dissolved in 100 gram of solvent. So you can take another beaker also, same containing same amount of water, so that is 100 gram. If you add the 20 gram of sodium chloride, 20 gram of sodium chloride to the 100 grams of solvent, so that 20 gram will be dissolved in a 100 gram. So I will consider one more beaker containing same amount of solvent, that is 100 gram. If you add the 30 gram of sodium chloride to this solvent, so that 30 gram will be dissolved in a, so that is 100 gram. So I will take one more example, that is a beaker containing same solvents, that is 100 gram. Example I have taken. If you add the still more solute to the 100 gram of solvent, that solute will not dissolve at a certain point. Say example, after the 30 gram of solute, if we add another amount of a solute, that will not be dissolved. It means maximum amount of sodium chloride, how much amount of solute is dissolved in 100 gram, that is the maximum is 30 gram. After that, if we add the still more solute to this one, so that will not be dissolved. Maximum amount of sodium chloride, that is the 30 gram dissolved in a specific amount of a solvent, that is 100 gram. That is termed as a solubility. It means how much amount of maximum amount of solute is dissolved in a particular amount of a solvent at a specified temperature is known as a solubility. How to define this one? So the definition of the solubility: the maximum amount of solute is dissolved in specified amount of solvent at specified temperature. This is known as solubility, simple meaning. It means solubility of sodium chloride in 100 gram is how much? 30 gram in 100 gram. So how to write the solubility of this one? 30 gram divided by 100 gram at room temperature, that is you can say 20 degrees Celsius. That is the 30 divided by 100 will do. That is the meaning of solubility. So coming to the point, So in case of this one, third beaker containing 100 gram of solvent and 30 gram of sodium chloride will be dissolved. If you add the still more solute to this solvent, the sodium chloride will not be dissolved. So in this case, if you add the still more solute to this one, the solute particles are settled down at the bottom of the container. So if the solute is not dissolved, so no more solute can be dissolved in this type of a solvent. Such type of a solutions are termed as the saturated solutions. It means if you add another amount of solute in the solvent, so that will not be dissolved. Such type of a solutions are termed as the saturated solutions. That is meaning is saturated solution. What is the meaning of this one? How to define? No, the solution in which no more solute can be dissolved. No more solute can be dissolved. So that type of solutions are termed as the saturated solutions. Coming to the point, second decantation. Second beaker having a 20 gram. First beaker we are adding a 10 gram that will be dissolved. In second case we are adding a 20 gram. This solution or this beaker or this solution having a capacity to dissolve some more solute like a 10 gram. So here we are adding a 20 gram, here we are adding a 30 gram. So this solution having a capacity to dissolve some more solute, such type of solutions are termed as the unsaturated solutions. Such type of solutions are termed as the unsaturated solution. What is the meaning of the unsaturated solution? How to define this one? So the solution in which more amount of solute can be dissolved. Such type of solutions are termed as the unsaturated solutions. So that is the solution in which more amount of solute can be dissolved. So that termed as the unsaturated solutions. And one more is there, dissolution process. Dissolution means the solute getting dissolved in a solvent. When we add the solid solute to the solvent, so that solute will be dissolved in a solvent. So it means concentration of a solute is increases in the solvent. Here we are adding a 10 gram of solute, so concentration of solute is increases. Here we are adding a 20 gram, again concentration of solute is increases in the same amount of solvent. If we add the still more solute to this one, again concentration of solute in the solvent is increases. So that process is known as dissolution. Dissolution means getting dissolved in the solvent and the concentration of solute is increases. That process is known as dissolution. So the solution in which when we add solid solute in solvent, solute dissolved in solvent and concentration of solute in solvent increases. So that process is known as a dissolution. So this is the meaning of dissolution. And also one more regarding crystallization. Crystallization, as we already discussed in first PU chapter, crystallization. It means when we add the solute to the saturated solution, so that solute will not be dissolved, that will collide each other and get precipitated as the crystals. That process is known as the crystallization. It means when we add a solute to the saturated solution, so that will be settled down at the bottom of the container as a crystals, or those molecules will collide each other and get back as a precipitation or as a crystals. So that process is known as a crystallization. So means so this the rate of dissolution and the rate of crystallization are in dynamic equilibrium. So that is rate of dissolution and rate of crystallization. These two are in dynamic equilibrium. It means what? Number of solute particles dissolve in a solvent and number of particles getting precipitated are equal. In such cases, the system is in dynamic equilibrium, we will call. This is the basic points regarding the solubility and meaning of solubility. Yes, so next we will move towards the how many types of solubility we will discuss. Now we are discussing only the liquid solutions. Among liquid solution means only liquid is act as a what? Solvent, and the solute may be the what? Solid, liquid and gas. So first one it is solubility of solid in liquid, and solubility of gas in liquid, and the solubility of liquid in liquid. In all the cases, liquid is act as a solvent. Now, in solid in liquid, one is Raoult's law will come. Raoult's law, and one more is colligative properties will come. Colligative properties. There are 4 types of colligative property will be there. Those are relative lowering vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point, and osmotic pressure. Later we will discuss that one. Gas in liquid can be expressed or explained on the basis of Henry's law. And the liquid in liquid, here also Raoult's law will come. So there are 2 types of solutions will come. One is ideal solutions, and one more is non-ideal solutions. So non-ideal solution will show the 2 types of deviations. One is the positive deviation. Second one is the negative deviation. This is the brief chart about the solubility. Solid in liquid, gas in liquid, liquid in liquid. If we discuss this much means the solution chapter will complete. So now first one we will discuss about the solubility of solid in liquid, then gas in liquid, then liquid in liquid. So now we will discuss about the solubility of solid in liquid. Solubility of solid in liquid. So what are the factors which affect the solubility of a solid in liquid? Now we discuss that. So that is the factors affecting the solubility of solid in liquid. Factors which affect the solubility of solid in liquid. So example you can take so beaker containing water. Here water is act as a solvent. So, and one more beaker containing benzene. as a solvent, benzene or toluene, or CCl4 or CS2. So these are the organic solvents. This is H2 as a universal solvent. So when we add the sodium chloride salt to the water, so that will be dissolved in the water. So like you can take the naphthalene solute when we dissolved in a benzene solvent or toluene or CCl4 or CS2. So that will be dissolved in a solvent. So when the sodium chloride, if you add to the benzene, so sodium chloride does not dissolve in the benzene solvent. Or if you add the naphthalene to the water, naphthalene will not dissolve in what it is, H2O or water. It means what? It depends upon the solute also, because this solute will dissolve in H2O and this solute will not dissolve in this benzene, and this naphthalene will dissolve in benzene but the naphthalene will not dissolve in water. So it depends on the solute also, nature of solute, and also it depends on the solvent also, like H2O or benzene. So it means first factor which affect the solubility of a solid in liquid is nature of solute and solvent. So it depends on the nature of solute and solvent, whether it may be sodium chloride or naphthalene or anthracene or sugar. So that depends on the nature of solute and the solvent. So it means what? Here sodium chloride is dissolved in the water, means sodium chloride is called as the polar molecule. And H2 is also polar. What is the meaning of the polar? Pole means charge. Why the charge will be created in a sodium chloride and H2O? Because of the difference in the electronegativity between the two atoms. Here the chlorine is one atom, another sodium will be there. Among these two, chlorine having a high electronegativity and sodium having a less electronegativity. Because of the larger or more electronegativity, the shade pair of electrons are attracted towards the chlorine. Hence the shade pair of electrons are situated towards the chlorine, means around the chlorine the negative charge will be created, that we call as a delta negative. Compared to this one, so this is a less, that is a delta positive. So charge will be created when the pole will be created. When it will be created? When the two atoms having a different electronegativity. In such cases the charge will be created. Such molecules are termed as the polar molecules. Here also same. Oxygen is more electronegative, hence it is a delta negative. Hydrogen is a less electronegative, there is a delta positive. So that means polar molecules will dissolve in polar solvent. Polar solute it is. Polar solute. This is a polar solvent. So polar solute dissolved in a polar solvent. This is a non-polar solvent. This is a non-polar solute. Non-polar solute dissolved in a non-polar solvent. So that we call as a non-polar in the sense there is no charge separation between the two atoms. Because, for example, you can take oxygen. Oxygen is a non-polar because, so that is a oxygen double bond oxygen. These two oxygen having the same electronegativity, is it or not? So because of the same electronegativity, the shade pair of electrons are situated at the center of those two nuclei. Hence there is no charge separation in these two atoms because of the same electronegativity. There is no charge separation means there is not a pole or there is not a polar. Hence we call it this is a non-polar. It means a non-polar solutes are dissolved in non-polar solvents and polar solutes are dissolved in a polar solvents. That we call as a example like dissolves like. Like dissolves like. It means polar dissolved in polar, non-polar dissolved in non-polar. But the polar solute does not dissolve in non-polar solvents and the non-polar solutes does not dissolve in a polar solvents like water. So this is the nature of solute and the solvent. So next factor which affect the solubility of solid in liquid is effect of temperature. Effect of temperature. The temperature will affect the solubility of a solid in liquid. How it will be affect, now we discuss that. So when the solute dissolved in solvent, the solution will be formed. Solution will be formed. So that is the delta H is positive or negative. Delta H will be positive or negative. So this solute dissolves in a solvent to form the solution. These two are in a dynamic equilibrium. These two are in a dynamic equilibrium. So when we increase the temperature, example you can take if the dissolution process is, you can take first one among this, if dissolution process is exothermic, it means amount of energy, heat will be liberated. So this is called exothermic. If the dissolution process is exothermic, in such cases, if you increase the temperature, already this reaction is in dynamic equilibrium. When we increase the temperature, the equilibrium or the dynamic equilibrium get altered. So it is in balanced reaction. When we increase the temperature, so that equilibrium will be altered. Again the reaction get back to the equilibrium state. In such cases, the reaction will move towards the endothermic side, that is a backward direction. Here the exothermic is a forward direction, and when we increase the temperature, so the reaction towards what it is? Backward direction. Backward direction, or you can tell that towards the what? Endothermic side. Endothermic side. It means what? Backward direction, endothermic side means so solubility will be decreases. So if the solute is dissolved in a solvent, the solution will occur. Forward reaction, dissolution will more. The dissolution will more means solubility of a solute in the solvent is increases forward reaction. If the reaction move towards the backward side, the solubility of a solute in a liquid is decreases. So increase in temperature, solubility of solid in liquid will be decreases, reaction towards the endothermic side. What it means? If it is exothermic, increase in temperature, solubility will be decreases. Solubility of water, solubility of solid in liquid will be decreases. So if you can take example, if the dissolution process is endothermic, if the dissolution process is endothermic, if dissolution process is endothermic, means delta H should be what? Positive, energy will be absorbed. So now the solute and the solvent are in equilibrium or dynamic equilibrium. When the process is endothermic, by increasing temperature, the reaction favors endothermic side is backward, exothermic side is forward. The reaction favors forward direction or towards the what? Forward direction or towards the exothermic side. exothermic side means forward process. When the solute will dissolve in a solvent, solution will occur. It means the solubility of solid in liquid is increases when we increase the temperature if the process is endothermic side. So increase in temperature, solubility will be increases if it is endothermic. If process is endothermic, it is based on the what we are explaining. So last year we were discussing about the Le-Chatelier principle in equilibrium chapter. So what is the meaning of the Le-Chatelier principle? If we change in pressure or temperature to the dynamic equilibrium reaction, so the equilibrium will be altered. To nullify the effect of change, again the reaction will move towards the backward or forward direction. So according to that Le-Chatelier principle, if increase in temperature, so the reaction favors the endothermic side when it is in exothermic. So increase in temperature, reaction favors a forward direction towards the exothermic side when it is a endothermic reaction. This is the effect of solid in liquid. And the third factor which affects the solubility of a solid in liquid is effect of pressure. Effect of pressure. The pressure has no effect on the solubility of a solid in liquid because, as we already know, that solids are having a fixed position or compact arrangement will be there. Hence, we cannot compress the solid. So solids and liquids are incompressible because of the constituent particles are compact arrangement will be there. Hence, the pressure has no effect on the solubility of a solid in liquid. So this we can write, pressure has no effect. Pressure has no effect on solubility of solid in liquid. Solubility of solid in liquid because solids are highly incompressible. Solids are highly incompressible. Hence, there is no effect of pressure on the solubility of a solid in liquid. This is the solubility of a solid in liquid. In the next class, we will discuss about the solubility of a gas in liquid explained by the Henry's law. See you. Bye.